Welcome in. Good morning. Another episode of Bears Fan TV. My name is Dave. We're joined by Ficky. This is Bears Fan TV. We're going to be going over a really fun episode, Bears mock drafts. You guys sent us in a lot. We're going to go over, I think, about 10. Is that what we picked, Fick? So
we picked
10 mock drafts that are each other, because obviously there was a lot of similarities in some of the drafts. So we went ahead. We are going to go ahead and highlight those 10 individuals that submitted it as well. But it's going to be a fun show. Kind of grade the mocks, rank them best to worst, kind of go over the worst and best case scenarios for the Bears in about a week and a half from the draft. I think it's about 13 or 12 days from round one. But we have, like I said, really fun, jam-packed show for you guys. Before we get started, though, Fick, how are you doing? How's your week, man?
Man, week's been good, kind of chill. It's we were talking about this off screen, but it's like dead of the off season. There's really no news. The only news is like drama news with inside reporters and head coaches. There's not really been any NFL, whether Bears or other teams. No, I guess a trade happened yesterday. Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay, got traded to, oh my gosh, the Eagles. So he got traded for a fifth and a seventh. And they're thinking that maybe AJ is going to get shipped, which would be interesting. Wonder where he would go. But other than that, man, there's not really much going on. We got the draft in 13 days, which is nice. NBA playoffs start here soon too, which is nice. Same with NHL. But right now there's not much.
Yeah, no, Blackhawks aren't going to be in the playoffs.
No.
And then the Cubs are kind of skidding, so are ready to start the season.
Yeah,
it is what it is at this point, but we're going to talk just the draft in general. The Beast was also released, which was really fun to kind of go through all of that from Dan Bugler from The Athletic. But today we're going to go through the mocks. I say we just go ahead and get started here, Fick. Mock number one is none other, I believe, Fick, might be wrong here. Is it Cream?
It is Cream
from X.
That's right.
Yep. So Cream submitted this one. As you can see, we'll go through this. It has its own overall grade. We're going to give our own for each draft here. If you're in the comments, of course, let us know what you guys think as well. But with this right here, we have a very, very common pick. Emanuel McNeel Warren out of Toledo, the safety. We'll start with that, Vic. How do you feel about him?
I mean,
this one's going 32.
Yeah, so let's talk about the trade first. It looks like he traded away 25 to Seattle. Seattle moved up from 32 because obviously they won the Super Bowl, so last pick. So we stay within the first round, and we also get pick 239, or they get pick 239. I wonder what we got in the back half of that. But, it'd probably be pick 160. Oh, we didn't have – sorry, I'm trying to remember the picks we had. We have 25 – we have 57. We have 60. So those are ours. Then we have 89. So it looks like we got pick 64 from that trade. Oh, there's a trade symbol. That makes sense. So basically we trade 25 back to 32 and we pick up, it looks like 64 and 91. I would like that. That's a good value trade in my opinion, because in this draft, when you look at like the blue chip prospects, they're probably selections 1 through 15. At least this is what the consensus is saying. And really picks 25 through 55, or like picks 15 through 55, the talent they're saying is kind of near each other. So if you want to trade back in that scenario, you're not going to drop off significantly from the talent pool, and you are able to recoup more picks. So just from a trade standpoint, I actually like that. Now, it'd be interesting to see who was available here. You know, probably not Dylan Thieneman. He's probably gone. It does make sense that Neil Warren's there. But with that, I mean, that's a good selection. The Bears still need a starting safety. You get him at 32. I would not be mad about that. But what's your thoughts? What do you think about that first selection?
I want to go through it. So you have the safety Emanuel McNeel Warren at 32. That kind of aligns. He's kind of a first, second grade, prospect as far as what people are having him at. So to get him at 32 is very interesting. The compensation is a little weird on this. Is pick 25 and pick 89. What are the Bears getting here? So
I'm thinking. So I think they're getting 64 and 91 is my guess. You can't tell exactly, but oh no. So it looks like they picked. So it looks like he traded from 89 to 91. So that's why he had 91, and then he probably picked up from that trade 165. So I'm assuming going back,
the Bears basically almost have 4
They got 2 additional picks in this draft.
Yeah. So I like that. I really enjoy, or I like the idea of the Bears potentially trading back. I think it's just if they're gonna trade, I would prefer to go backwards than maybe going up in this draft, just because of what the board may look like in that second round. And for me, Emmanuel McNeel Warren, I think is a I don't know how I would feel if that was safety was their first pick. I know I want them to go defense, but defensive tackle, edge rusher just seem like more of a premium need, if that makes sense. So depending how the board looks, we won't have, that insight here. But I want to read a snippet here from the Beast about McNeel Warren. Goes impressive size, speed athlete on the back end who is the best when roaming to read his keys, flow to the ball, quickly close space. He has that rangy tools to push for starting safety reps as an NFL rookie. Reason I want to read that is it's an instant impact right there. He would go right with Crosby or Kobe Bryant. Sorry. And that would be very, very fun pairing. And so now Gage Jackus out of Illinois. That's a very interesting one.
Well, also on Emmanuel McNeel Warren, he's on PFF's big board. He's 21. I'm not sure where he's at on the Beast, but if you're getting the top 20 selection at 32, because if you're going best player available, then McNeel Warren is
best safety.
Yeah,
he's
going to be
higher
on that one. Yeah, I think if you check, Brugler has like a top 100. I think he has him like top 30 as a selection. But Emmanuel McNeel Warren, 21 on PFF,
23.
Which is really exactly. So Trevor Sikkema and Brugler agree. This is like a top 20 player, right? Just hinge.
Yeah.
And you're getting him at 32. So if you're doing best player available, this would be fantastic. And that's why you would take this over some of the defensive tackles, because the defensive tackles don't start. The top defensive tackle, whoever you think it is, isn't till like the top 30 overall prospect, whether that's Kaden McDonald or Peter Woods. So I think it's a good value there with a trade and getting that selection. I think that's smart. No, you can go on to Gabe Jacobs, though. I think he's I do like that selection from Illinois.
Yeah, well, Illinois, right? He's the edge number 11, though, on the Beast. He's at his grade is usually second, third round. Give you a snippet. Jackus won't consistently outrace NFL tackles, but his powerful, proficient technique and aggressive play demeanor should translate well to the next level. He projects as a rotational defender. So this one, there's a lot of room for interpretation. We'll see what he could look like, but he's 21. He'll be 22 at the start of the next year. He's fourth year senior. 6'3" edge rusher. I don't know exactly how that would look, Fick, as far as like Dennis Allen. He likes to have, 6'5", 6'6". You can't always get that right as far as like, especially in the draft. But I like it at 57 because, like I said, I think he is a second or third round kind of grade on most draft boards. But the interesting one, I kind of want to move past this one because I like the edge rusher, but what I like most here is going edge and then 3 picks later going defensive tackle. That kind of excites me. That's what I want to see really early on, is where the Bears attack the interior and maybe add a premium edge rusher. So what are your thoughts on Gabe, though, first, before we
I think
Grayson?
I do like Gabe. 4 year starters. I mean, 4 years in college, right? You said he was a senior, right? So 4 years in college, that's always good.
Fourth year senior.
He has a high motor, which is love to see, and he's a power defensive end. And a lot of times you look at the top defensive ends or edge rushers in the NFL, they win by power, because speed and finesse is hard when you have people like Tristan Wirfs, who's just as fast as you. So I do like that. Now, does that mean it's going to equate to, a long-term success? I have no idea, but I do like where some of his traits land out. And I think that could be a solid pairing to have in rotation with Austin Booker, right? Because you can never have too many defensive linemen. That's the thing. It's not like this has to be a 3-down back, 3-down player throughout the whole thing when you have Austin Booker on the other side. So, I think it's a solid pick. I like it. And it seems that whatever mock draft here agreed with that selection.
Yeah, and then we have Grayson Halton out of Oklahoma, defensive tackle. He's the 10th on the Athletics Dan Dane Brugler's board. He has a 4th-round grade, twitchy, disruptive big, who will thrive in a part-time role. I think that's, again, for a second rounder, we'll see what the impact looks like. He would be hopefully probably playing with Grady Jarrett. That would be good defensive, a good like leader to kind of learn the ropes for as a rookie. What they have here, Halton is sawed off and can be overwhelmed at times, but he moves with a big man twitch, and his initial quickness, closing speed can be a weaponized. A part-time role is most likely the best fit for him early on. And so I'm not, like I said, for me, these first 3 picks, Vic, safety, edge, defensive tackle, and then you even have, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, it goes, so his first, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks are all defense?
Yeah, when the top 100.
Cream.
Yep.
Yeah, Cream is he's obviously sticking to the defensive side of the ball, and I would not be upset about this. I would love to see a center possibly, but a little bit earlier. But I love the trade in Stukes, the Arizona corner at 64.
He's a tall corner too. I think that'd be great for
gosh.
Jez Dowling. I think he's like 6'3", isn't he? If I remember, I think Stukes is a pretty lanky corner.
If he's still there too, he's the 8th best corner on most boards. 24 years old, a little bit older.
Oh, 6'1". Okay.
He's
still,
about 6'1", 6 foot 5'8",
190.
190. Yep.
Yeah, a little thin. Fast though, 4.33. Yeah, that's pretty good. And a 10-10 broad jump.
Very athletic.
Yeah.
I would not be. Yeah, that would be a crazy. I really like this here. And then they have perhaps one of my favorite picks on this mock from Cream is Danny Dennis Sutton as well, another edge rusher. So I love the focus here on defense, and this is kind of what I want to see. I don't think Ben Johnson's going to be able to hold back and just go, defense for the first. Is that
if he wants to win? If he wants to win, you might need to.
Yeah, but you're telling me he doesn't want maybe a speedy receiver that, oh man, this guy's falling all the way.
You know what though? It's crazy. This has happened though before in the NFL. I think Seattle had a draft like that where they went their first 5 picks or so went all defense. And I think the Patriots did that recently. One of the past 5 drafts went straight defense. Yeah. So it's definitely plausible. We've never seen it for the Bears, but if there's a year to do it, it'd be this year, because I think the defense leads the charge when you're talking about the type of talent in this draft, because you don't have a lot of those flashy offensive guys that you do. Well, at least not as much as you do in previous drafts, if that makes sense. Sorry, I'm trying to move this. There we go.
No, absolutely. And I'm not sure we this poll, has it gone out there yet?
Yeah, I just put it up. I don't know if they can see it, but if you want to vote, you can vote on grading the mock, hopefully on YouTube. It's a new feature, so we're testing it out. Let me know if you can grade
it out. Grade this one A, B, C, and then 4 would be D/F. We'll finish it up though. We didn't touch much on Danny Dennis Sutton. I like going up, kind of having 2 edge rushers there. Then you got Logan Jones, Keegan Trost, and then Daniel Sobowicz.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know Trost or Sobowicz, but I know Logan Jones is probably the top 3. He's in that. There's really like 3 centers in that top 3. You have Jake Slaughter, Logan Jones, and then you have Sam Hecht from Kansas State. So if you get one of those later in the rounds, like the 4th, 5th, 3rd, I'm okay with that. So I like that selection. I know Hecht is probably what I'd want more because he fits more of the zone scheme. Slaughter might be the overall best one, but
yeah, they said he's a mid-round Linderbaum. And undersized. He's 6'2". I kind of like it. I like it that late. He is, what was it, grade 3, 3rd or 4th round grade on most boards. So I like I like getting the center. I think just coming away with this draft, I'm not saying super late, like pick 241, but I'm not mad. Keegan Trost, don't know much about him outside of I think he's a guard.
Is he? Is that what they haven't projected? Maybe Brugler has him projected to move to the guard position, because you know how it is with a lot of those tackles. They'll project him to guard based off their size. and feet speed,
Mhm.
so lateral movement.
Yeah, so here from what we have, Tross will need some mechanical tweaks for a move inside, but that shouldn't be a major issue. He has a technique-focused blocker with steady feet, physical hands. His ceiling isn't sky high, but the position flex only boosts his usefulness. So might be able to kind of go around. He's 6'4", really borderline 6'5". And then yeah, how old is he? He's 25, so a little bit older, 7th year senior. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the league we deal with now.
COVID.
Yeah, that COVID and plus the extra years they can get now from NIL and all those things. So,
interesting one. I would say overall, if I had to grade this mock, Fick, I'll go first here. I see B plus. I almost want to give it an A because I love the attack and focus on defense for the first 5 picks. Really good value. McNeel Warren with Kobe Bryant. Gabe Jackas is interesting. Grace Halton, I really love him out of Oklahoma. I would love to see that. And then I think Traden Stukes is a steal. And that will only add to the explosiveness and I think the Bears, if they can stay healthy with Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, I don't know. He's kind of a, lightning rod as far as how people feel.
Also last year of the deal.
So him with Stukes, Frazier.
Yep.
He didn't play last year. I think it could be just a nasty secondary for Chicago if it kind of went this way. So I'm actually going to go A. And this is starting off hot. I love this one from Cream.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go B. I do like it. Realistic wise, 2 trades getting this many, I don't think that would happen. I think there's 1 trade in there we'll probably do, but overall, I would not be mad about this draft because my approach to the draft is obviously you want quantity. I mean, obviously you want quality. You want these guys to be good, but because there's so many variables that makes this, lotto scratch off game impossible to predict, I like to have as many options as possible. So from that standpoint of how you entered the draft with 7 picks and walked out with 9, great job, Cream. So I'll give it a B.
I want to say this one, I think this is the PFSN.
Yeah, I think so.
Mock draft. I think people should definitely look into this one. It's a good one to use if you're not if you're moving over from PFF. This one's pretty solid. So
I like their breakdowns too. When you look at their player breaks, that's what I'm using right now. They got
it probably is the best, out there on the market outside of what PFF used to be. So, however, PFF is still useful because they still use
their
previous previous.
The previous they still use Trevor.
And I like some of those guys. Yeah, so maybe the last year of it, but yeah, really great start. If you guys like this one, again, let us know in the chat. Real quick break. If you can, hit that like button while you're here. I know we have quite a bit on YouTube. Just helps out the algorithm. Let's move to the next one, Fick. What do we got here?
Let's pull it up. Here we go. This is from
I'm about to throw up.
T-Raw at Ben BWC Johnson. Okay, so first off,
I'm just kidding.
We got to start off with first. I know it's at the bottom, but this is really what determines this draft. You trade your first round pick for Dexter Lawrence. That's it. Straight up. Pick 25, you get Dexter Lawrence. So you no longer pick in the first round. Okay.
Wow.
So your first pick starts with round 2. Oh, sorry. You trade. It looks like we picked with 60. So it looks like we traded our 25 and 57, I'm assuming. Oh, no. We traded 57 with the Raiders. And we got round 3, 64, and round 4, 102. So basically, you traded your first 2 picks. One of them got you Dexter Lawrence. Your second pick, 57, you traded back to then recoup a 3rd and a 4th with the Raiders. Okay. Not only that, we're going to move down a little bit. You then trade again. There's a lot of trades, by the way. This probably wouldn't happen, but you then trade your 5th rounder and 6th rounder to move up. Oh no, you then trade your 4th to get a 5th and 6th. Okay. So recapping, this is what it is. You traded your first for Dexter Lawrence, so you lost a pick. You traded your first, second to then get a 3rd and 4th, so you gained a pick. You then traded your 5th your fourth that you just got from the trade with the Raiders to then recoup a fifth and a sixth, which means you got an additional pick. So you lost one pick, but then gained 2 picks back and gained Dexter Lawrence. So that starts before we even select a player. That's what starts the draft. Okay. Let's talk about the ones that we haven't talked about. So first off, this is the interesting one. First pick that you make in this draft is wide receiver Bryce Lance. Fun fact, if you don't know, Bryce Lance is the younger brother of Trey Lance, who was selected number 2 overall way back in the heyday. So good athlete, fast, same college that Trey went to, North Dakota State, but interesting to go wide receiver first as your first pick.
And that's round 2.
Yeah.
60. I know it's a little bit. He's projected about 3rd or 4th round. And he's kind of a project. He wouldn't be an instant. He's kind of going to be a backup, has the ability to maybe compete to be a starter in year 2, year 3. But it is a very interesting mock here from T-Raw, because if there's one spot I wouldn't expect him to go early, it's receiver, unless Ben truly has like his conviction. Like, this is, I need this, which I don't think he does, man. He has a lot of weapons at his disposal. I'm talking about Loveland, Burden, and Rome all could realistically be pushing 900 plus yards each if everything goes right next year. And so a lot of mouths to feed. Well, for the sake of this one, I think it's really important to focus on the Bears landed Dexter Lawrence for pick 25, and that's it.
That's huge.
That right there, which
that's huge.
And I know people are like, that could happen. The draft is 13 days away. If the Bears are going to make a move like that, it's going to, if Lawrence is not traded in the next, before round 1, one thing I think I heard as far as like some talk is like there's going to be a lot of movement in this year's draft, especially in round 1. And that's what the expectations are from, what everyone's hearing from around the league. And so if Dexter Lawrence is still in New York and a deal is not done, he's still unhappy, which is probably going to be the case. I guarantee you it's going to pick up, and Chicago's going to be one of those teams to watch as far as moving that first round pick, number 25, straight up for Dexter Lawrence. I could really see that happening. And if it does, I think you got to be excited for this, man, because he's going to, I know the production dipped in 25. The elbow injury may be a little concerning, but he is still a monster, and he would just jumpstart this entire defense. And then especially if he went, where we got Danny Dennis Sutton, pick 60, 70 again. I like the center.
Slaughter, that's the best center on the board. That's a good pickup.
And then you get another safety. For this draft, you only get one. Genesis Smith out of Arizona,
who's a great free safety. The question is I do like that safety from Arizona, 6'2", 204, real type of center field player. But the question is Kobe Bryant your true free safety? Are you kind of doing we can play them wherever? That's the only question. But he's a great selection for round 4. He's projected round 3.
Stooks
so
is
already got him for a steal.
Teammate. And then we already talked about that trade with the Eagles. Yeah, a lot of this is very gun like as far as like, I mean, they're pulling the trigger on a lot of trades. I don't think that's realistic.
Three trades.
I remember a few years back, Ryan Poles, I believe, had a bunch of trades late in the draft where he was just like creating more picks with those I think it was like 6th, 7th rounders where he's trying to get as much bodies as possible because he didn't have many picks in that draft. Forgot what year that was. May have been his first year. But let me see here. J.C. Davis, tackle. Miles Kilselman, tight end. That's an interesting one right there.
I think he's a blocking tight end, if I remember. Because you obviously would not. You need a Durham Smythe replacement. You don't. That's not going to be. If they went like if they went a tight end, that's more of like, a wide receiver tight end, more of that slot tight end. I don't think that would make any sense.
And J.C. Davis, he's got a 6th, 7th round grade. He played left tackle, 2-year starter at Illinois. We got another safety, Jalen Husky from Maryland, and then
there's a
linebacker Eric Gentry.
Yeah, there's a comment here from Howie R. Bears. He said the safety combo is low-key awesome here. Jay Husky's a former cornerback, just like Kobe, and my favorite value safety. Great pairing with the youngest center field true free safety prodigy in Genesee Smith. Yeah, so saying, Genesee Smith is that true center fielder. So I know Kobe played in the box a lot last year, so maybe that's what they kind of do, and that's your yin and your yang, but it'll be interesting to see how they kind of move the safeties around. But safety, look, safety is a big hole of need. So I'm not mad about doubling down in safety. I'm not mad about when we double down on the defensive line. And I'm not mad about, really, those are the two where I'm like, it makes sense. So I think it's a good pickup. And then linebacker, Eric Gentry to end it off in round 7. Speaking of, okay, this one's a little more even. Wide receiver, edge, center, safety, tackle, tight end, safety, linebacker, split 4-4. So half offense, half defense. Oh, and Dexter Lawrence.
Well,
so technically, defense.
Lawrence is the big. Yeah, and Lawrence probably counts as like 2. He's a monster in the middle. So, I'll let you start with the grade on this one.
Yeah. So realistic grade, we'll give an F because it's fun though. This is not going to happen. There's just too many trades. If this did happen though, from a value standpoint, oh my God, this is amazing. You got Dexter Lawrence and you recouped. You gained more picks in the same draft. That's crazy. So I love that. Bryce Lance first. That's one. Not a fan, but love Jake Slaughter, Genesee Smith. I think that's great. And I'm going to trust Howie here, who was on the stream, that Jalen Husky is a good pickup from Maryland. So overall, I'm probably going to give it like a B-. The Dexter Lawrence, I do want to trade, but it's still so risky. So I can't give that a full A just because we don't know what Dexter Lawrence is right now. He's had a year and a half of okay play because of his injury. If you get the Dexter Lawrence, of 2022 to 2025, then I'll bump this trade. I'll bump this whole draft up to an A, to be honest, because that alone carries the weight.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
So you gave it a B.
Yeah.
Overall,
I gave it a B-.
Bryce,
I gave it a B-.
Bryce Lance, I can't get on board going. If you would have traded for Dexter Lawrence and then went defense in round 2 at pick 60, T-Raw, I think it's not Ben, it's Ben Johnson, unless that's coincidence. But for this mock here, that's the one thing. It's like, I'm not the biggest fan at going Bryce Lance, and I don't know why the Bears would need him unless Ben Johnson was like pounding the table. This is a guy that can, transform this offense, take it to top 5 or best in the NFL, like just add another weapon, which would be ridiculous for Caleb Williams. I'm going to go C+, just because of that pick right there. And again, I don't think it's realistic, so I'll take a little bit off there as far as the amount of trades. Very, very
crazy.
He was wheeling and dealing on this one. I just don't see it happening. However, if this was possible, like you said, I would probably bump it up to a B because, like you said, you're getting a lot of picks. You're bringing in a lot of talent, especially in the top 100. So you have 1, 2, 3, basically 4 players in the top 100, and then you get Dexter Lawrence as well. It's pretty crazy. So, but I'll go C+ just because of the realistic, and then the Bryce Lance. Not a big fan of taking him at least at pick 60. So. But I appreciate you sending this one in.
No, that's good. So I was kind of looking up the highest number of trades that have ever been done by one team. The Eagles traded 8 times in 2024. 8 times. Houston Texans in 2023 traded 8 times as well. And so did the 2018 New England Patriots. So maybe, now I'm sure the average is probably closer to like 1 or 2 trades. But I guess it's been done. I did not think 8, because that's a lot of trades, bro.
It is a lot.
That's crazy. Well, I guess it could happen. So maybe it's not too far-fetched. So
I'm more so curious where those trades happen. If it's usually later in the draft when you're trying to
way more later.
You see a guy on your board that's still available late in round 5 or round 6, even round 4, of course.
Yeah, there's way more trades that happen. In the back half, because the trade is less risky, and so you're giving up less. So it's easier.
Well, you look at look at Austin Booker. The Bears traded up for him, wanted him. So like sometimes when they see players they like, that are high on their boards, it's I think trades just happen a little bit more on day 2 and 3. But
so I
interesting.
think so I'm looking over the past 5 years, the NFL's averaged 35 total trades over 7 rounds. So that means about 5 trades per draft is the average. Not for a team, but overall, you see about 5 trades.
Yeah.
So again, just to say, it would be interesting if the Bears
we'll
took
see.
3 of those trades. Who knows? That'd be awesome. I'd love to see it, especially if they're trade backs, not trade ups. I'm not really a fan of that as much, but yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. It would definitely make the draft fun. That's for sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Before we get to the next one, let's get to our first ad break here. And then we'll keep going down these mocks. Yo, before we keep going, whether you've been rocking with us since day 1 or you just stumbled onto us today, we see you and we appreciate you more than you know. First time here, drop hashtag #NewFaceGang in the chat right now. We're giving you a shout out before the show wraps. Welcome to the fam. You picked a good one. Are you an OG? You know what to do. Drop a hashtag OG in the chat and we're shouting you out too. Y'all built this thing with us and that doesn't go unnoticed ever. Seriously, every single one of you that tuned in right now, you are the real MVPs, not the players, not the coaches. It is you. We don't take that lightly. Now let's get back to the show. Yo, real talk. If you're a true Bears fan, which means you've been through the suffering, you might as well collect the memories. Windy City Sports Cards has the cards from all your favorite teams and players, constantly updating inventory, and they actually care about quality and authenticity. No bootleg nonsense, no shady flips, genuine collectibles, and real value. They're building a whole community around this too. Box breaks, social updates, the works. Whether you're a diehard collector or you just want something to hold on to from the good times, go check out Windy City Sports Cards. Link in the description. Now let's get back to it. Absolutely. Yo, by the way, I saw some crazy. They coming out with some crazy cards recently. They have like these Tecmo Bowl ones that they're coming out. Topps is doing, and then there was a Caleb Williams like manga one that came out that looks fire. I probably won't buy it, but if you do, Windy City Sports, we'll definitely have your back on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Windy City Sports Cards. Appreciate them. Love the partnership that we have going. If you can give them a follow as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Now we have another mock. We have a few more that we're going to get to. Before we do, one thing that we ask, we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Subscribe. Looks about, I think it's almost 60% of you guys that watch are not subscribed. So if you can subscribe, hit that notification bell if you'd like. And of course, hit that like button if you are live right now. Or watching after. So mock number 3 from Alex on Twitter. You can see his @ here on the top left of the screen. This one's very, very simple. Looks like there's no trades. And we'll start from I'm sorry. Yeah, no trades.
No, there's no trades. No trades.
We have TJ Parker, the edge rusher out of Clemson. This is an interesting one. Jacob Rodriguez at 57, the linebacker from Texas Tech. Grayson Halton again at pick 60, the defensive lineman out of Oklahoma. At 89, you have Bud Clark, safety out of TCU. At pick 129, Logan Jones. And then you have, who's the inside offensive lineman. 239, Reggie Virgil, wide receiver out of Texas Tech. And to wrap it up, at 241, Emil Wagner, tackle out of Notre Dame. Wow.
Yeah. So some repeats in here. So Grayson Halton, Logan Jones, we talked about them. So I think we got our opinions on that. So the 2 to look at, which we've talked about on the show before, TJ Parker, Jacob Rodriguez are your first starts. I'll start with this. Jacob Rodriguez would be a great selection. He had a great Senior Bowl, great tape. He would be a fantastic linebacker. Is it the biggest spot of need? No, but if you could get him in the second round, I think that's definitely worth it, especially since you kind of have back-to-back picks. TJ Parker, though, that's going to be more of the controversial one because just like his counterpart, Peter Woods, if you were looking at last year, not this last season, but the season before that in 2024, you had said, oh, these guys are easy top 15 selections, but they both underperformed this past season along with most of Clemson, and therefore they've fallen in the draft board. Bears do need an edge. What is TJ Parker on Brugler's top 5 edge, I think, right? Right after Mesidor, I would probably say.
Yeah.
So
he's Parker is edge rusher number 6.
There we go.
On most boards.
Yeah. So the question is, do you take edge number 6 or do you take another position that has position number 1? Right. So is it like, do you take the 6th best edge, or at least what people think is the 6th best edge, or do you take the best defensive tackle? Right. Because that would be available here, or the best, or the 3rd best offensive tackle. I'm just making this up, but the 4th best offensive tackle. That's kind of the question you have to think about. Is like, is it worth taking the lower end of that position group because there's so many, or do you take the best of a position of need?
It also depends on who. I mean, we don't know exactly where TJ Parker is on the Bears draft board. We don't know where he was on Alex's. I'm assuming pretty high. That's why with the draft, it's all about, taste. How do you feel? What is your projection look like? And if TJ Parker, just because he's 6th on most draft boards, doesn't mean Alex here thinks he's probably better than, maybe he's top 3, maybe he's the 3rd best edge rusher. You don't know. That's the thing, is depending on how you grade these guys from their tape. I know he had an All-American season
year,
in 2025
or
2024. Last year, Clemson underperformed as a whole, and then his production dipped. It's almost like, I'm not going to say it's for like Caleb Williams. Remember, Caleb had Heisman year, kind of had a, I'm not going to say off year because his stats were pretty nice, but it's like, all things considered, they did not win. Yeah. It was just a rough season. People are like, what do we think about that? And then, of course, that's where it's like, sometimes you can't read too into the success. And of course, the team around him at Clemson, but he's 21 years old, 21 and a half. And then start of the season, he'll turn 22 on September 19th, 3rd-year junior. I want to read Parker or Dane's takeaway from the Beast. Parker is still learning how to unlock counter maneuvers, but he offers a reliable foundation built on leveraged power and a consistent motor that helps him make plays as a rusher and run defender. He projects as a solid NFL starter, similar to Jabal Sherrod. And so, very, very interesting player, kind of polarizing. I kind of like it, but I want to talk about Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker. Right here from YouTube, we have
Kaden 3074, I think.
4.
All right.
It was Jacob Rodriguez alone makes this draft a success. A lot of people love Jacob Rodriguez, and I would too. I think he would be a great pickup, but at 57, that's probably the range he's going, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's going to be early second, I would say.
He's linebacker 2 in most boards.
He's right. He's just behind Sonny Styles. I think it's Sonny Styles than him.
He's a 2nd-round grade. He was Texas Tech's quarterback of the defense, should compete for a starting role right away. I like the impact player, 23 years old. Rodriguez has a very average size profile, but his athletic versatility has made him a more instinctive linebacker and helps him play decisively. He should immediately compete for a starting role again in the NFL. So depends how you feel about Jacob Rodriguez, and also how you feel about taking a linebacker at a premium spot in the draft. I love Grayson Halton.
I was going to say, the linebacker room is, if you'd have said this before the free agency, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, we definitely need it. We don't really have anyone. But in free agency, they signed 3 linebackers. DeMarco Jackson, Sam Borden, but that's depth.
I love DeMarco Jackson.
And he played great last year. And Bush.
Yeah.
And then you got, obviously, TJ coming off injury. Yeah. And then you have Ruben Hippolyte. So it's like, do you need 6 linebackers? Maybe. I mean, he would make that linebacker room better for sure. There's no question. He would start, but for sure. It's kind of like is it BPA versus need? I don't know. Earlier in the draft, first 100 picks, I say BPA. So it doesn't matter if you have 3, 4, 5, 10 linebackers. If that guy will make your team 10 times better, you got to go get him. So I'm okay with it. TJ Parker's going to be the interesting one, though, because a little bit undersized, not the best of a pass rusher, pretty decent run blocker. I mean, run defender. But I don't know if that really fits into Dennis Allen's scheme. But also, scheme can sometimes be overrated, because it's like, if you're a good player, like, it doesn't matter. Your coach should be able to make you work. But that's typically not the frame Dennis Allen goes for. He's a little undersized for for that position. But you also said some pros, like he's young. He's still learning. Ruler's talking about, he doesn't have a lot of his counter moves. So that gives you a little bit of hope. But a lot of times, this is just kind of my take. I feel like the NFL falls in love with projects. And a lot of times the projects don't end up turning out to where you thought they were going to be. Because everyone loves the idea of like, oh, I can unlock them. And then they don't. So I'd rather have something that's there's obviously parts that will get unlocked. That's why players get better. But I don't like taking a risk on something where it's like, especially earlier in the draft where it's a premium position. I'd rather have something that's more of a known commodity, something that's kind of proved consistency to me than something that I have to kind of figure out if I can or not. Especially when you're in win now mode. We don't have 3 years to sit here to figure out. We just went to the one game away from the NFC Championship. We need to capitalize on this. So I don't know. It could work out, but that's just kind of my take.
Yeah, it is the draft is sometimes it's a lot about a lot about luck, right? Everyone does their research, so but it can be a lot of luck based, especially when you get past probably the first round. Even the first round can be fluky. So
first round is there's more bust in the first round than some of the others. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
Grayson, Halton. We already talked about him quite a bit. Bud Clark, safety out of TCU.
What about Bud? Yeah, I don't think we talked about him. I wonder what type of safety he is. I feel like he's
safety number 7.
7. Okay, that's not bad. Boards. Projected round 4. He brings
range and ball skills to the defensive backfield with starting potential at safety. 3rd round grade for the most part. 24 years old. 6th-year senior. Here's a little breakdown on him. Clark is overly responsive in coverage, but he brings range and ball skills to the back end of the defense and makes more plays than he misses. He has field safety starting potential and can hold up in nickel.
Okay.
And nickel is very, very, very.
Because he's 180. He's only $180. That's kind of tiny for a safety.
Well,
6'2", though.
He was 188 at the combine. His pro day was 197.
Jesus, it got to be so much weight. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then
I love how they fluctuate so much.
Here's the thing, though. He didn't run the 40 on his pro day. He ran it on the combine, so he's 4.4. He ran a 4.4 40. So maybe he was just
180.
trying to get as fast as he could. Obviously running the 40. So
they beef up so they can get higher measurements.
Looks like a wide receiver when the ball's in the air. You love that. So, but it goes. One of his weaknesses is lean-limbed, looks more like a cornerback than a safety. Aggressively responds to quarterback pumps and can be manipulated. So at the NFL level, there's going to be.
Howie here said he spent more time at nickel back than free safety, so he's more of a nickel play, which makes sense. His frame is so tiny, but I mean, hey, look, I don't mind having multiple good options back in the defensive backfield, so I'm okay with it. That's not. I mean, it's your 4th pick. I wouldn't be upset about that, to be honest. You're not going to find a perfect player later in these rounds. So I'm trying to see here. What about Reggie Virgil though? Because I don't know if I know that name too well. I'm trying to see
wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver. I'm trying to see what was his testing. 6'3". We love that. That's Jade. Jade's height. 187. That's super tiny. 4.57. Oh, that's not that fast.
Yeah, he's wide receiver 27. Here's the thing. I'll be honest. Taking a receiver at 239, I'm not gonna freak out. But the Bears don't need a receiver. Jade Walker, can we put some respect on his name? He's going to be very, very good. Okay. We saw him flash last year in very limited roles. He had 2 touchdowns, probably one of the biggest of the year against the Packers on that 4th down from Caleb, where it's not an easy catch, especially where he's just the limited reps for him to be ready, to stay ready and to deliver in that moment. We talked about it obviously mid-season or when it happened after the game. So I won't go too much into it. But I need people to understand that Jade Walker is going to be very, very, very good. And he is wide receiver 3. And I would be shocked if the Bears actually invest heavy. I'm not saying 239 is heavy, but they just don't need a receiver. They do not need a receiver. They are young.
They also brought in
position
They also brought in Detroit Lions.
Raymond?
Raymond Felton, not Felton.
Exactly, Fick. Exactly.
Raymond from Detroit.
And I think Raymond's going to be a more returner, wide receiver 4.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Jade Walker.
Jade Walker, just for the fun of it, projections. I don't care about touchdowns because that's harder to project. Yards over under 300.
I'll play this game, but it's hard because the Loveland and there's a lot of
there's a lot of weapons. There's a lot of weapons. But what do you say over under 300?
I would say I would be disappointed if he's under 300.
Under 300? Okay, I think that's fair. For wide receiver 3, if he gets like 350, that's good.
I'll take that. Well, I think the problem is Colston Loveland. Not a problem. It's a good problem.
Colston,
Colston Rome, over 1,000 as a tight end, I think is very, very possible and likely. And so that's taken a lot. I mean, taking a lot of reps away, a lot of targets from like the back end receiver room, which would be Jade, Raymond. But I think Jade Walker is just going to be he's going to be fun, man. I think he's going to continue to surprise people. And I love the chemistry. You saw him, Rome, and Luther out at USC with Caleb.
Yeah.
And Loveland was there too. And they were all kind of getting some work in. And I just love the chemistry that those 3 receivers, and then of course Loveland and Caleb, are starting to continue to develop here at April. And that's just cool to see. But Jade Walker, man, I think he's going to remember this. I'm telling you, Fick. And I think you feel the same way about him. So
I mean, he's got the frame. Like we're not projecting this is going to be the next Justin Jefferson or anything like that, but has the frame, looks like he has pretty good hands. I think it's just the fundamentals. I mean, he was undrafted for a reason, but if there's one person or 2 people that can unlock it, I think it's going to be Ben Johnson and Antoine Randall. So I expect this will be year 2 for him. We probably won't see the best of Jade Walker until not this year, but the following year, if I had to guess, where you start to see maybe he gets a season of like 600 yards or something like that, 500 yards, couple, 5 touchdowns or something like that. I could see that happening the following season. But I do agree with you. I think there is potential there to unlock him even more than what we saw last year. We'll see how much that is and how he's used, but great hands, 6'3" frame. It's nice.
And Jade is getting to learn. He's not, you know how Darnell Mooney, when he was in Chicago, he was the number 1 guy, at least for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he didn't have many people to push him. He was the top dog. But if he was in this room right now with Luther, Rome, Jade, you're probably thinking 3, right? I loved Mooney, but he kind of benefited from the lack of talent in that room when he was in Chicago.
He got a lot of targets.
And so my thing is he kind of grew, and he was obviously, I think he was a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
But for Jade Walker, he's in a wide receiver room and really a skill position, group with Luther, Rome. He got to learn from DJ last year. He's getting to continue to grow and build chemistry with Caleb, but he's learning behind Rome Odunze, and he's learning behind Luther, who are just so savvy. They're extremely talented. And then you have guys like Colston Loveland, Cole Kmet that can kind of make the defense, worry, especially Loveland. He's just an insane weapon. He's going to be a main focus for defensive coordinators. They're going to try and shut him down a little bit more in year 2. And so Jade is just getting to benefit for about all of these things around him. And so like the touchdown against Green Bay or the touchdown to Detroit, it's just, he's going to have so many opportunities, and I think he's going to make the most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, that 4th down play to him was because they bit on DJ Moore's route. They thought they're focused and they're like, oh, he's going to DJ. I think it was like a zig or something. And he slipped around that back corner and Caleb hit him in the back. So yeah, I think, having stars in front of you or potential stars, future stars, draws attention and leaves you to have one-on-one opportunities. And so far he's capitalized on those. He'll need to capitalize even more, but I think he'll get more opportunities than what we saw last year, especially with the loss of DJ. So overall, though, how would you give this grade? This is mock.
TJ Parker's interesting.
I'm gonna go B-.
I like Jacob Rodriguez, but again at 57. I'm going to go, what do you say? B-? I
went B-. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was going to say B-. I like it. I just don't love it. And, but that's okay. And I could be, obviously, if they went this route,
wrong.
anyone could be wrong, but I'll say B-. I just appreciate everyone that sent mocks in. We'll be a little quicker here, but shout out to Alex again for sending this in. You guys, I think we got over 50 or 60 mock drafts that were submitted, so we can't go over them all. We might. We've been thinking about maybe doing another show like this next Saturday, because you guys sent so many in, and we would like to kind of get to a few more, especially some of the more creative ones that you guys sent. But this one, a B-. Alex, I think you did a good job here. Again, thank you for sending it in as well.
Yeah, it's almost a bump too because you didn't do any trades, so you went straight up based off what we had, which is definitely a little bit more of a difficult process. But yeah, overall, none of these mocks we're sharing are awful. I don't want to make that clear. We like them all. And and who knows? We don't know what any of these players are going to turn out to be. Even people who study the draft is their main job miss on these guys all the time. So a B-, I would say, it could be so wrong.
The worst case scenario for me well, I want to stop here before we get to our next mock. Vic, what is the worst case or worst draft case scenario for the Chicago Bears for you? Is it trading up? Because that's what it is for me.
We walk out of this draft with like 5 picks. I'd be a little upset.
The other worst case scenario for me is Dexter. It involves like Dexter Lawrence, or like Dexter Lawrence is trading not just round pick 25, but also like maybe a second somehow. Maybe giving up too much for a player. Now, if Myles Garrett is somehow available and they're like, yeah, we give up 2 firsts, that's a little bit different. You probably need a lot more. That's different. I'm talking about more for like Dexter Lawrence. If you're somehow the Giants utilize leverage, or maybe we're bidding against another team where you give up the number 25 and say 60, that right there, I would be very worried, because then you're banking on him 100% having to like get back to Dexter Lawrence type, play in 2026. And that would I would just be a little worried. And I love the ability to bring in, a lot of bodies, a lot of talent on this defensive side. So for me, Lawrence for 25 straight up, I'm fine with. Anything extra, I'm not. That would be a worst case scenario for me.
Yeah. I just don't know if there's really anyone. Again, we could be wrong, but based off the consensus, I don't know if there's really anyone worth trading up for that we could realistically get to. Like the trade up for certain players is like top 5. And I just don't see that. We can't do that. It's 20 picks. That would cost a shit ton. So we're not going to do that. But yeah, that's kind of, I don't want to walk away with like the draft we had. The draft when we only had 5, well, we had 4 picks, but ended up getting 5 because we traded up, right? Or something like that. Yeah, we traded up for Booker. That one was only good because we had the number 1 overall pick. That was Caleb. And then the second, the next pick was Rome Odunze. So 2 out of 4 of our picks, right? 50% of our draft was in the first 10 selections of it. So it was like, okay, if you're only going to have 4 picks, at least they're all very early. This would not be the case. If we lose our first, lose our second, our first pick's not till 60. So I agree with you on that. I would not want that. I'd rather recoup here because I feel like this is a more depth draft. A more depth draft than it is finding that bona fide starter. So, but who knows? Again, you never know. You walk out of here, you think you got all the right guys, they all suck, and then vice versa. It happens every year, year after year after year, and that's what makes the draft so fun. Okay, let's get to number 4 here. We got Brian Hernandez on Twitter. Thank you. Let's go. This is probably the most common. This has probably 3 or 4 of the guys that you see, on consensus mock drafts. So we'll start off here. First pick, Kaden McDonald, defensive tackle at Ohio State, the run stuffer, number 1 run stuffer. Okay, everyone's heard of him. We'll talk about him. Number 2, Avon Terrell, which is the brother of Avon Terrell, right? I think from Clemson, the corner who's drafted like 3 years ago.
AJ?
He's a corner. AJ, thank you. AJ Terrell, the corners brothers. And then you have AJ after him, AJ Halsey, the safety out of LSU, who's been mocked to Bears all the time. We've talked about him. Sam Hecht, who's had a visit with Chicago, been mocked to the Bears all the time. We've talked about him. Zone running center, center from Kansas State. LT Overton, definitely heard discussions about him. He's an edge from Alabama, was definitely higher on like the preseason mock, but definitely didn't have that great of a season this year. Caden Curry, big old white boy from Ohio State, who has been Ohio State's one of their top defenders, other than like Caleb Downs and Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, but one of the leaders of that defensive line. He's taken at 239, which I think is great value. And then you ended on Albert Regis, which I actually don't know, the defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. So starting off, we've kind of talked about this one. Kaden McDonald.
Home run. Right. He's DT1. Right?
Yeah, depending. He's DT1 or 2. Yeah, 1 or 2. It's always 1 or 2. Yeah.
For me, it's
either
one.
Him it's either him or Peter Woods. If you want a pure run stopper, he's 1. He's not going to have a pass rush.
Yet. You don't think he can develop?
I think he can develop, but it's not going to be anything special.
Yeah. So you think he'll just be premium run stopper and
which is great. The Bears have not had the Bears haven't had someone we're talking about trading for Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is a good pass rusher too, but you know what he does really well? He takes on double teams and stops the run. So Kaden McDonald is known for just being a premier run stopping defensive tackle. You're probably putting him at 1 tech instead of a 3 tech. He's eating those double teams and freeing up lanes for your linebackers. So he's going to be your 2 down guy. He's probably not in there on 3rd down. Your hope is Kaden McDonald's in there down 1 and 2, does his job, eats up the gaps. Yeah. You get these teams in 3rd and long, you sub him out and you put in Javon Dexter, Jarrett, and let them feast because they're more pass rushers. So that's who knows? Players develop all the time in different ways, different rates. So I'm not putting a ceiling on him, but based off like my research, people are kind of like, if you're drafting him to expect that you're going to have a dominant pass rusher at some point, that's not what he is. He is, if you're drafting him to expect him to be one of the best run defensive tackles, in the NFL, that's more of his lane. So, but I'm wondering what Brugler said about him. Is that kind of similar?
Very similar, yeah. He's very, very dominant run stopper. Really can play 3 downs though, and so
okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we'll see. I really like Kaden McDonald, and you're right that getting the quarterback is going to be the most important thing. It is in the NFL, especially the NFC North. Having to deal, but I like his quickness too that Kaden McDonald kind of has there. He's kind of sneaky there, and I just think that. I think it could develop. But I think if you're able to stop the run on rounds, in 1st and 2nd down, get him into those 3rd and longs. That's where your edge rushers come into play, right? It's where
let me remind you,
Sweat, hopefully Austin Booker.
Your defense
Kyler Gordon
was one of the worst run defenses in the NFL last year. And you're seeing the shift now in the NFL where the run game is becoming more important. It's harder to pass.
D. Levine on YouTube. Our defensive success all starts with stopping the run. 100%.
I think Jim Harbaugh Jim had a quote this week that kind of went viral. He's like, stopping the run is the number one thing. I don't care about anything else. It's about stopping the run. And then people are like, then why are you trading Dexter Lawrence? But the point is, you're seeing that. You're seeing the shift in the NFL. Teams are running more and more because of the 2 high safeties. You're not getting a lot of the deep passing game. So, I mean, look at Ben Johnson. This team last year was a top 10 offense because of its rushing. Like the passing was good, but not great. The run game was fantastic, and it won us tons of games. We literally beat the Eagles just off running the ball alone. So if you can't stop the run in modern day NFL, you're going to have some problems. And the Bears had tons of problems with it last year. So again, just saying, I know it's not like as sexy because you're not getting the sacks, you're not getting your Aaron Donald. But if you, like you said, if it puts you in those favorable situations in 3rd down where you can kind of put that speedster, that drag race team on the field, the defensive linemen, like, the guys who are just their goals just to get after the quarterback, then you're set. So I like it.
Yeah. No, well said, Vic. And I want to get to Avon Terrell.
Yes, please.
5'10", very undersized, 5'11" on his pro day. So it depends on where he is there, I guess. It's weird how it changes by an inch from combine to pro day.
That's always funny.
3rd-year junior, super young, 21 years old. He'll be 21 most of his rookie season. But he's quick. Very, very unique skill set. He can play inside, outside. What's his 40? 4'6".
Ooh, it's not too fast.
That's weird. I didn't know that for some reason. But anyways, he's cornerback number 4. I think this is one of the more polarizing picks to use your pick 57 on Terrell. He's graded though first, second round. So I mean, you could be looking at a steal here. And
I mean, but think about it. If we think about your roster, you don't know what's going to happen with. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name.
Jalen Johnson. You're not going to know what happens to Tyreek Stevenson.
Tyreek, geez, I don't know why I couldn't think of Tyreek.
But you don't even know, you can't rely on Jalen Johnson either.
True, he had a major injury, right? Yeah, you major injury with Jalen, right? You're hoping he bounces back, though. I think he will. So I'm less concerned with Jalen, but that is a good question. I mean, that's a good point. Kyler Gorin injury concerns, obviously, that's a problem. And then Tyreek's on his last year of his deal, and he's been inconsistent. Some years Tyreek looks great, some years Tyreek doesn't. And not only that, you only have one more year of him, so you don't even have him guaranteed moving on. So backfilling that position, I would not be upset about that. 4'6", though, that seems slow. Now that 40 isn't everything, so there's definitely been great corners in the league that didn't have fast 40s. But I'm kind of surprised that was so slow there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not great. It must have been his pro day because he didn't even run. Yeah, 4.64, yeah. Huh. Yeah, not great on the speed side, but, they've got him graded high for a reason.
He's quick, though. Like, I know it's not straight line speed.
Yeah, I wonder what his 3-cone drill was, because a lot of times that helps tell.
So his 3-cone drill, let's see here.
Did he even do it?
He didn't do it.
Gotcha.
He didn't do it his pro day or combine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm seeing he had a hamstring injury. This is why I love YouTube. Thank you, guys.
Love you. Thank you.
Kaden ran 7804 on YouTube. Hamstring.
Thank you.
He was hurt when he ran the 4.6. The tape tells all. That's what I thought. He's just so much faster.
Yeah, 4.6 is kind of slow. Again, it's not the end all be all. There's definitely guys who have tested bad. And also, you don't want to just fall in love with testing numbers. That does not.
And he started 31 straight games to finish his career. I love that availability there. That, again, you don't know what that translates to NFL. It's different. But, and he led the Tigers in passes defended as both a sophomore and junior. Fluid, easy mover with light footwork. I'm excited. Very versatile, inside outside guy. I love corners. I love to have as many as you can get.
You never have enough.
Last year, where sometimes it was you had the depth, right? Nashawn Wright. It was good to have him, but man, sometimes he was burnt toast. Truly burnt.
Yeah, if you get him that late, which I don't think is gonna happen. But you maybe. I haven't seen him I have not seen him projected in the first round. I'll tell you that much. Really, there's only been two corners have been projected in the first round. You have Monster Delane out of LSU, and then one other guy. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there's a possibility. I'm saying all this to say there's a possibility you could get him at 57. Mm-hmm. Also, you know who was drafted around 57? Who also had an injury concern and fell out of the first round? Jalen Johnson. Projected first round talent.
I remember that.
Injury concerns with his shoulder.
Yeah.
And I think he got drafted early second, because we had an early second that year. We had two of them, him and Colson Komet. Yeah. Cole Komet.
We went Jalen first, and then Cole second, if I remember.
It was like pick. It was Bears pick, someone else, and then like 6 picks later, and then it was Colson, I think. God, I keep saying Colson. Cole.
Yeah. So AJ Halsey.
This one I
like that.
I love that safety. Big safety too. 6 foot 222. Yep. Great athletic score.
Safety number 5 is the second, third round grade. He's 5'11". Am I seeing that?
Mine said 6 foot, so it's an inch. It's just it's depending on what source, it is.
Well, it's 5'11", 5'8", so pretty damn close.
It probably rounds up. But 222 is nice. It's a beefy safety. Especially if he's playing in the box, right? If you're having Kobe Bryant do more of his free safety type of, I know Kobe will also be in the box too. Kobe will be, but I definitely like that. There's been a couple mocks with AJ going to us, so you getting a top 5 value, like positional value at pick 60 is good.
Before we move on, it says Howie R. Bears, Kyler Gordon not losing his job to Avon. Absolutely right. It's more about depth, I would say. And also if Kyler, unfortunately, his injury history, you can't count on him being there for 17 games, in my opinion. Until we see it, I'm not betting on that, but that's a good point. I just wanted to throw that out there. So
also, AJ Halton, 3 interceptions last year, 4 pass defended, 89 tackles, 49 of them being solo. That's a pretty solid season. 10 career interceptions on his career.
I love this scouting report for him. He goes, has some wild tendencies, but is coachable and skilled enough for an NFL vet. That's from Dane Bugler from the Beast. Pretty funny. Wild tendencies, but can be honed in essentially. So Sam Hecht. Love it.
Zone center. I do like that one. We do need one. We got to get a backup. We have who we traded for, which I already forgot his name.
Patriots.
Sorry. Yeah. What's his name? Keep thinking that is not it. Oh my gosh. So many players. I feel like now I've been trying to study all 400 prospects. You know what I mean? I forget the players that are actually on our team. It's so many people to think of. I don't know how.
Garrett
Bradbury. Thank you. Thank you, Garrett Bradbury. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate it.
He's likely the starter.
Yes, more than likely, but you only have him for a year. It's basically a rental, so you got to get a backup here. So if you walk out with Jake Slaughter in the 4th, Sam Hecht in the 4th, or Logan Jones in the 4th, I'm probably going to be a happy camper, if we're being honest.
Sam Hecht in the 3rd or 4th is best case scenario, man. Probably wouldn't start unless there's an injury.
Yeah.
But he would push Bradbury at camp. And I'm really excited. 6'4", he's 23 years old. I love that pick. If there's one that I hope later in the rounds, I hope we take a shot on Sam.
I would love Slaughter. Slaughter's the best. I think that'd be, if we could walk away with Slaughter or Sam, I'm gonna feel good. Plus, any offensive player now, I just trust. I'm like, Ben Johnson, so far you've shown that you know how to your assessment of these players and how you're going to use them has worked. 1 year, I know it's a small sample size, but that's all we got. But so far, so good. So if you decide that, hey, you know what? Sam Hecht's the guy, I'm going to be like, you know what? Sam Hecht is the guy. So defensive, we'll have to think about that because Ryan Poles hasn't been so great on the defensive side of the ball. But offensive, I'm like, thumbs up. I have full faith. We'll have to see. Speaking of defense, LT Overton, the edge from Alabama. Yeah, he did not have as good as a year as what I thought.
Edge 17 in most draft boards.
Projected, though. This one says round 2. Interesting. Pro Football Network has him high, projected a little higher.
Yeah, just to give another example from The Athletic, the Beast, his grade is a 4th round grade, 21 and a half years old. This is his takeaway from The Athletic. Overton isn't yet the sum of his parts and hasn't turned the flashes into consistency. Who's that remind you of? And there's no guarantee he ever will, but the potential is enticing for a player who is still very young. His ability to fit different schemes, alignments only bolsters his draft stock. This kind of reminds me, now he's 3 inches shorter, but Austin Booker, as far as the flashes and consistency, but he's also, like I said, a lot shorter than Book, because I think Book's 6'6".
Yeah, Book is like 6'5", 6'6".
Man, I can't wait to see what please stay healthy and just give us I want to see a full season of Austin Booker. And he's still like 22, 23.
Yeah. Yeah. He was young.
He came into the league so young.
He came in at what, 20, I think?
Yeah. 20 years old. And yeah, we'll see what he can do. I'm excited.
Hey, you know what I
say?
You know my philosophy. The year 3 is normally when you start to see these guys.
Kansas, right?
Yep. Kansas State. Kansas State.
That's right.
Yeah. Or Kansas. No, Kansas. It's Kansas. I think you're right.
I thought it was Kansas, but
yeah, it's Kansas. You're right. But my philosophy is like year 3 is kind of where you start to see which way the needle's going. Like this is going to be a guy or this is not going to be a guy. And I think every year with him, we've seen it move small incrementals to this is going to be a guy. This year, I feel like we're going to walk away, whether we like it or not, knowing is this going to be their future starter defensive end? If the answer is yes, this is what you love. This is what you love about the draft. Taking a risk, a flyer on someone in the 4th round or 5th round and then 3 years later reaping the rewards from it to where you don't have to find a replacement for that position. That is what the draft is all about, and that's how a good team becomes a great team, because they find guys like that. So I hope you're absolutely right, Dave, because that will be one less position that you have to fill. And that's what you love. Hard to do. That's why the NFL's crazy. NFL draft's crazy. But like when you find it and you do it consistently, the good GMs, they build super teams. So
Bears are close. I think they're a draft away if they can do what they did last year.
I agree.
And replicate that draft success in 2026, man. To the moon. Ben Johnson
absolutely.
And this team.
Okay, how do you want to grade this draft?
I love Kaden McDonald. I love Sam, Avon, Terrell. I'm excited about Halsey as well. This one is I think this is a B+ for me, Fick.
I think I'm going A-.
Borderline. Yeah, I was gonna say borderline. I'm really this is a great draft. If we came out of the this year with this type of haul, you got to be stoked.
You mean Hall C is what you mean? I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this would be a good one. Funny enough, 7 out of the 8 picks defense, or 6 out of the 7. So this is definitely a defensive focused draft.
We got a C+ on this one from Cornelius on YouTube.
Oh wow, it's a little low there, but everyone's to each his own, which is totally fine.
Let us know, Carl, if you could add more details to why. I'm curious. We'll throw it up here.
Please. I would say this is more top heavy, so I really like the first 4 picks. Like really, really like Kaden, Avon, AJ, and Sam. That's for me. That's great. The back half is again back half, so a lot of these are risks.
Yeah, double up and on edge that late.
Well, no. Oh yeah, back to back. You're right. All defensive line. Hey, you can't say you want to revamp the D line without revamping.
They did the same. Poles did the same thing with the offensive line.
Sure did.
Didn't stick.
So yeah, overall, I think it's A-. I actually don't mind that one at all. That's probably my favorite one so far. But we do have some more to go through here real quick. Before we do so, we're going to get to our final ad break here. Just a reminder, please leave your hashtag OGs in the chat. This is your first time, hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. We are going to give you a shout out before the end of the show. And we'll give a shout out to our Patreons. I have the new slides ready to go. So excited to finally do that as well. Speaking of Patreon, there's Thomas Whitty there saying I say B+. Absolutely. Okay, let's get to our ad break here real quick, our final one. You've been a Bears fan your whole life, and you deserve something special for that. Bears Fan TV's Patreon, The Den, is it. For only $1 a month, you could become a rookie Grizzly. Get Dave's weekly articles, merch discounts, exclusive content, and more. His actual brain on paper for only $1. And for $3, you'd be a veteran Grizzly. Everything in the rookie tier, plus early access to film breakdowns before anybody else knows they're dropping. Extra exclusive content on top of that. You're not waiting, you're first. And for $10, you'd be a Hall of Fame Grizzly. All of it. Every perk, every discount, every piece of exclusive content, plus monthly calls with Dave and me. Personally, you got questions, ask them to our faces. We're building something special here. 1,000 members is the mission, and you are how we get there. Links below. Get in the Den. We'll see you in there. Hey, before we keep going, shout out to Chicago Sports Podcast. If you're not already locked in, these guys cover the Bears and the Bulls all in one place. Deep analysis, bold takes, and no fluff. And here's the part I actually respect. It is veteran owned. So when you're rolling with them, you're supporting vets who built something real. Plus, Illinois and Indiana businesses get a legitimate edge partnering with them. We're talking state contracting perks, federal incentives, actual bottom line wins. Smart moves all around. So go ahead and check them out. Chicago Sports Podcast, link in the description. Now back to the show.
Absolutely. And shout out to them. They're a part of the Believe Network as well. Happy for those guys, and check out Chicago Sports Podcast. They cover everything, Bears, Bulls, like Fick said. So, but I do want to touch base real quick on our Patreon, the support over there. I think we're over 70 members almost. You guys have just been unreal since we've kind of created and rebranded to Bears Fan TV. So if you're interested, reach out to Fick and I about the Patreon. My next weekly article will drop on Monday like it did last week. Super stoked about that. And then, Fick, I just want to take a moment to kind of share, if you're not on Twitter, I am now writing for Bears on SI, so it's part of Sports Illustrated. writing for them. I actually have my first 2 articles up on there. My first Bears mock draft will officially come out this Monday. It's going to be a 3-round mock draft for that. So excited to be with Bears on SI, and shout out to the team that I'm just glad it worked out. And with that, we also have some special news. We have a really fun. I don't even know if I want to get. Do you want to just share a little bit, Fick?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Basically, I've been
sick.
I've if you've been following Dave and I for a while, we love doing competitions and giveaways and all that type of stuff. So it's draft season. We're going to be doing another competition. Actually, I ran a personal mock competition. I think it's 3 years in a row now I've done, where you would do the whole first round for all the teams, right? But instead of doing that, what I'm doing this year, well, actually, I'm going to do that as well. But what I'm doing for BFTV is we're going to do a predict your basically Bears mock. So it's going to be all the Bears selections, the picks that we know of. We're not doing trades or anything like that. Well, you can guess trades, but you're going to go in. You're going to pick players, blah, 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 blah. It's going to lock it in, and then there's going to be a leaderboard, and the winner's going to win. I haven't decided on the gifts yet, but it's going to be some cool stuff. But I built a whole site for it, all this type of stuff, which is awesome. It looks so cool. It's got all 406 prospects, generates a little blurb about them. It's got their image. It's got some of their, their measurables and their, 40 time and things like that. Like it's in depth. So it's really cool. So excited about it. It'll be a fun competition, free to enter. All you have to do is enter your first name, last name, email, and you can start picking. And then you just win. Probably going to be some jerseys, some cool stuff like that. But really excited for it. Website's almost done. I gotta tweak some bugs here, which I've been doing this morning. But Monday we'll probably make an announcement. We'll be excited for that. Give you guys about a week and a half to start to get your mock drafts in.
And no, the winner is, I'll already tell you right now. So you get to pick basically what I want to do. Pick at least one of for the first place award. For the best and most accurate mock draft, we'll get to pick any Bears jersey of that draft class. So if you want to pick round 1, if it's Kaden McDonald, Avon, Terrell, whoever it is, we'll be buying you that jersey and shipping it to you once those become available. I know we talked about that, and it is a sick website, super easy to sign up for, and also very easy to enter. And it's just a really fun way to build the community that we have going on here. Speaking of community, our Discord will be a fun way to interact there as well. We have our Discord. You can look link in the description. So a lot of fun news. I can't wait to tweet it when Fick's ready. And I guess we can keep adding. We also have another producer coming, right, Fick? We won't say who, but we got it.
We got news. We got a lot of news, man. We're excited. We were the goal for BFTV when we made the transition was to have everything kind of in place and ready to rock and roll by the draft. And the draft is 12 days a day. We're almost there. So a lot of work behind the scenes. We just thank you guys for being a part of it, but we're really excited to share that news as well.
Well, hopefully he'll be on the show next week. And as you know, our previous producer, shout out to Jack. He was on the show quite a bit. He produced in the background, but also, of course, was kind of like a co-host. That's going to be the same thing here. We'll introduce him soon. You guys can give him a follow on Twitter once we announce it, but I can't wait to have him. And it was such a fun process, and everyone that applied, we did a lot of interviews. Super cool to even have anyone that is interested and to see that turnout. It was a tough decision, but can't wait to kind of get started with our new guy. So that's a lot. Again, excited for SI, excited for to write on Bears SI, and of course I'm excited for Fick's website here. Actually, it's Bears fan. I'm not gonna give it away, but it's pretty cool.
Don't give it away yet, because I don't want people going to the site till it's finished. But yes, it's legit. So it's all good. We got a lot of fun stuff in the pipe. And in the meantime, last plug here. If you want to join the Discord, free to join. A lot of great conversation in there, especially during the draft. Dave and I are going to be so active in there. It's just a dead period, so there's not like much to talk about, but we'll be during the season. We're always active in there. We're active when news is dropped, all that type of stuff. So a lot of good stuff in there. It's free to join. We run free competitions in there as well. So make sure to check that out if you would like to win it. And Patreon as well. We've updated that. Dave's got great articles. We got a bunch of extra content on there as well. Fun stuff. I think I might be throwing some extra stuff in there. I'm already thinking of, just adding more and more value, but feel free to check it out. We got 3 tiers. You got your rookie, you got your veteran, you got your Hall of Fame. So we have our Hall of Fame call later this month as well. So if you want to join in on either of those, feel free to do so. And if not, just make sure to like this stream and subscribe. It means a lot. We'll get to our next mock here. But again, it's if you want to just try it out, $1 just to see everything that you get, my articles,
that call that we're talking about, where it's really just a Zoom call between us and all the Hall of Fame members. So we just talk shop, talk Bears. Of course, that's the main topics. But it's a really fun way to interact with everyone and continue to build the community. So enough of that. Last thing I'll say, hit that like button on YouTube if you're here. I know there's a lot of people live, have almost 1,000 across all platforms watching. So if you can, if you're watching now or after, just hit that like button, subscribe, stick around. So Vic.
All right. I want to say this. We did have 10 mocks. We've gotten through 5, so we might need to save the extra 5 for next show, unless you want to do a 4-hour show. But we really do appreciate all of them that were sent in. I knew this would happen, but they're great things to talk about. So this is a good problem to have. You guys sent in such awesome mocks that we had a bunch of discussion and discourse about it. But ending it here with Kaden, with Ren Kaden on Twitter. He did 2 trades here. It looks like, to start off, he traded 57, and in return we got 108, and then he traded 89, and we got 111. Oh, excuse me.
We got Dexter Lawrence.
I didn't see it. It was at the very end. Okay, so it was basically we traded 57 and probably another pick and got Dexter Lawrence. That's to start it off. Oh, and a third. We traded 57, next year's third, and we got Dexter Lawrence. So we no longer have 57. We then traded our 89 to the Broncos and our 6th-round pick next year, because we don't have a 6th round this year, to then recoup 108 and 111. So in essence, we lost a future third, we lost this year's 57, and we lost this year's 89th, and we lost next year's 6th. But in return, we got Dexter Lawrence and 2 3rd-round picks. Wait, 3rd round, 33 times 2 is 96. 2 4th-round picks, and 108 and 111. Okay, set the scene. Big one here, just like with one of the first mocks we did, getting Dexter Lawrence. That's great. Starting off with pick 25, which I have not seen this player mocked this high. That doesn't mean it will not happen or cannot happen. But we have Max, which I can't even say his name, Eher, the offensive tackle from Arizona State, going to 25. Let's stop there.
Right tackle. That's the only issue. 2.5 years starter at Arizona State, lined up at right tackle in that offense. Started playing football in the summer of 2021. Interesting. I love the Dexter Lawrence deal, but I'm not sure I'm on board with Max at 25 just because of and he's also from here. So this is what it's basically from Dane. Essentially, Max is still learning how to refine his talent on a more consistent basis, but his traits, the athletic build, the quickness, the balance, are exciting foundation for a future starting right tackle. He's a ascending player, though he might require a red shirt here in the NFL. So again, that's another thing, that impact there. And he's right tackle. When you have Darnell Wright, who's borderline all pro, I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, Kaden. I appreciate you sending this one in, but maybe if you switch into 20, I love keeping 25 and getting Dexter Lawrence, but I think we can do a little bit better.
If you're gonna reach, you got to go
unless you're somehow moving right to the left.
No, that doesn't make I never liked. The Lions are doing that with Penny Sewell, which the great players can do it. It happens. Tristan Wirfs has done it as well. I don't necessarily like to do it.
Yeah,
but it can be
redshirting. A first round pick is tough too. Reeves said that here. You're 100% right, Ryan. That's again not dunking on Kaden here. I like this is the type of stuff I like to see because everyone has different ideas. I'm not saying this couldn't pan out. Maybe they want to make him left tackle. You know, maybe that transition, that's where Chicago could see it. Again, interesting one. We'll leave it at that. Anything else, Fick, before we move to Jacobs?
Yeah, I just don't see Max going that high. But there's been things have happened like that before. Cole Strange went to the first round, and there wasn't a freaking mock that had him going to the first round that draft. I can't remember what draft that was, but so it's definitely possible. I just probably not probable. So not too big of a fan of that. But I love the Dexter Lawrence trade. The value gave up for that. I'd do that any day. Gabe Jacobs, we talked about that. That's a solid pick. Will Lee the third, the cornerback out of Texas A&M. Let's take a look into him. It looks like this grade, PFSN did not like that selection, but that doesn't mean it was bad. Let's take a look at Will Lee and see.
I got you.
Yeah, let's see. What does Brugler say about him?
He's a cornerback 21.
Okay.
5th round grade.
Yeah, we got him in the 4th. So
this is what Dane's takeaway is. Some of the scouts said that Lee has more variety on his tape than is ideal. So a lot of his play varies week to week, but he is long, explosive athlete with coverage instincts to find the football. The uneven nature of his game might make it tough for him to lock down a starting job, but he should get plenty of chances. 6'1" at the combine, ran a 4.5, and he's 23 years old, 5th-year senior. Again, I like corners. I do. You never know exactly how they'll, translate to the next level.
It's hard to tell, like, once you get to the 4th, because these guys are all like, it's a guessing game. Really,
I like going corner though.
Yes,
in the 4th.
Positional value. I think it's a good selection. It's hard to tell with a lot of these guys what they'll turn out to be because you
absolutely
don't know. Well, it's even harder it's hard overall. We know that, but like in the first 2 rounds, you have a little bit more conviction typically about the guys. Once you get to the 3rd and 4th, and it gets worse each round. 5th, 6th, 7th. At that point, it's just a scratch off. But yeah, I like the positional value. And if he's projected 5th, you're getting him 4th. That's close enough. So I think consensus, that's probably an area he can get. Plus, not only that, this comes off of a trade back. So we have to keep that in mind. These were picks we didn't actually initially have. So you're just getting extra scratch offs here. Same with Jalen Kilgore. So that 108 and 111 were not our initial picks. That's from trading pick 89 and picking those both up. So, from a value standpoint, I do enjoy that a lot. 89, you drop back about 20 spots and you get basically back-to-back picks. I would take it. Now, will those guys, like, how good will those guys be? Well, who knows? I don't know. But positional value and draft value, I think that's a respectable trade back. Yeah, you looking up Jalen? I've heard that.
I was actually looking up receiver Kaden.
Okay.
At pick 239, but I can
that's fine. I got Jalen here, so I'll read this off for Jalen Kilgore while you get Kaden, which is such an interesting last name. Wetchin? Anyways, Jalen Kilgore profiles as one of the most unique and multifaceted defensive backs in the draft. At 6'1", 219, that's pretty big. Sprawling length and charged up explosion. He's taken reps at boundary, cornerback, nickel, box safety, and field safety. Kilgore's versatility is a testament to his intelligence, vision, and football IQ. All traits he used in tandem with his physical gifts to rack up 3 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions, and 5 PBUs in 2024. And in 2025, he followed up his breakout season with 2 INTs, 10 pass breakups. That's a lot. Along with earning an elite DB impact score of 91.6. He's a muscle-bound, 211-pound frame, abuses his game and modest hip stiffness at times. Kilgore has corrective and reactive athleticism to match and plant and drive over top stems. And with his closing speed, he can operate as a seam runner and erase mid-range separation, hawk over ill-fated passes, and punish and support. Best as a big nickel. I do like that. But built with an all-encompassing positional flexibility. Kilgore can be a dynamic glue guy for an NFL defense. I like that breakdown, especially with the modern day NFL. You love that guy who can play kind of anywhere, versatile across the board. I know the grade. It's funny because this is from PFSN. I know they didn't grade it well because I think he's projected. Yeah, I don't know why they gave that a bad grade because he's projected round 3 and we got him in round 4. Yeah. So, and his blurb, they seem pretty highly of him. So based off that information, I'm sorry, I don't know too much on Jalen Kilgore. I like that pick. I like a big, rangy, muscle 280, 211. It's pretty big for a safety. That's a good pairing with Kobe Bryant. So I would not be upset about that. Thoughts?
Not too much more than that. It's an interesting pick. Howie Arbere's 0 experience at free safety.
He'd be
regarding to Jalen.
He'd be a strong safety and a big nickel, is my guess. Because really, Kobe is your free safety, so that's fine. This would be your oh my gosh, Brisker replacement.
Interesting. Okay. I'll move on to that one. We got Trey Zune, second, 129. Kaden Wedgen,
Wetjen, I'm assuming.
This is what they have: dynamic return man, scoring threat on every touch. Although time will tell if he can graduate from a gadget receiver to a more established role in an offense. Kind of like a Raymond, right? That we just signed out of Detroit. I don't mind taking a swing this late on a receiver either.
And a returner. Good special teams. You need those late rounds as special teams contributors. So I take that.
Yep. 5'9", smaller frame. Lake McCree, tight end out of USC. And then we get Dexter Lawrence. So this draft is interesting. You get Dexter Lawrence. I'm not a fan of pick 25. I like 60 with Gabe Jackas, Will Lee, Jalen Kilgore. It's a good draft. I think 25 is what's going to hang it up for me here.
Yeah,
I can't take a right tackle. I think maybe it was just
the rest of the draft. I actually like. No, I'm sorry, that pick. No, I'm just sorry. That was the only one. It's just everything else though. I think is like what you were able to recoup from your drafts. Fantastic. What you gave up for Dexter Lawrence, fantastic. It's just
Darnell Wright was a left tackle, and we were needing a right tackle. Boom. But again, I hate a redshirt year for pick 25.
First round.
Someone taking
not the position
within the first 25 picks has to play next year.
Yeah. Kaden, great. I loved everything else. You just got question one wrong. That's it. That's the only thing.
and that was
it weighted
question
heavy.
one was weighted heavy.
Question one was 50%.
I'm gonna go C. I'm out, dude. I'm gonna go D. I'm gonna go D. You can't go right tackle with 25. You just can't do it.
I'm gonna go a little bit higher because I will forget about pick 1 because of the Dexter Lawrence trade because of the value you gave up there. So I'm gonna go.
I won't forget.
I'm gonna go C.
I won't forget, man. That will.
I'm gonna go C.
I would be so stoked about Dexter Lawrence, and then all of a sudden I'm pissed off.
No. Imagine it's this way because we gave up a second, Dave. This is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Pick 1 happens Thursday night. We're all like, "Fuck, that wasn't great." Go day 2. News comes in. Boom. Trade has been made. Bears have sent up pick 57 off. Dexter Lawrence has come to Chicago.
Oh, that's how you're right. I'm be excited. So another one I want to talk about is Trey Zune. He is tall. He is 6'6" center or 6'6.5" center.
Yeah, 320.
Out of Texas A&M. Just a giant dude. 23.5 years old. This is kind of a scout report on him. Athletic blocker who understands his strengths and reverts to what he does best to win reps. He offers interior flex and will have starter caliber upside in the right situation. That sounds like Chicago. Really like Trey at 129. He is a 3rd, 4th round grade for the most part. Athletic blocker. I think he'd be a good scheme fit too. And just a giant human being. I didn't know, man.
I mean, look, it's a flyer again. It is round 5, right? So, you know, you never know what these guys are going to be. But by the way, it's Kaden Weejan. So thank you.
Thank you.
Kaden. Oh, Kaden, this is yours. Oh, Kaden, this is your mock. I'm just not putting that together. You've been so helpful through this episode. But Kaden, my man, you got to let us know why you picked Max at 25.
What do you envision at right tackle, Kaden? I'm not even going to end the show until I hear your feedback. Like, are you expecting him to? You just wanted depth at right tackle for right? What was the?
Are you moving him to left tackle or are you moving right to left tackle?
Yeah. And for our Apple Spotify listeners who are watching or listening to this back, this is obviously a live conversation we're having with Kaden on YouTube. So if you want to have more conversations like this where we're giving that feedback, head over to YouTube. You can check out. So Kaden said super athlete that I'm moving to left. That's what I thought. So he's going to try and convert him. And that would be if the Bears are picking Max, they're going to try and convert him to left tackle. Mm-hmm. And I think it's possible. He don't have too many reps. Like he has reps at right tackle, but maybe it can work out.
Maybe. Look,
I like Mad Max, though.
You don't know. That is nice. You really don't know. It could work out. Now, I mean, look, PFSN had him at top 30 overall, like on the big board. So it's not like the guy is awful. That's not what we're saying. It's just kind of a interesting based off kind of how the situation is now. I'm hoping. Question for you: if Caleb Lomu is there, because we didn't even talk about the top 30 visits, but he had a visit with the Bears.
No brainer.
If he's there, I feel like you'd probably take that. That's a higher end player, left tackle.
I just don't think he'll be there. I would love that, but yeah. So Mad Max at left tackle, and then he probably is not starting unless there's an injury. But you got Braxton Jones, so he's going to be able to go to camp. maybe push some of the starters, have some fun, learn. And if he redshirts, great, but maybe he starts playing halfway through the season and maybe he's great, but there's obviously a possibility for disaster where he can't make that shift to left tackle. And then that's Caleb's blind side, and that's a huge risk. Anyways, man, the draft, it scares me sometimes. I get it, Kaden.
So fun. It is so fun because, look, we could come in here and be like, what a horrible fucking pick Max is, and then he could go be an all-pro. So
I will never, ever say anything's a horrible pick.
No, you know what I mean, though. We could be like, not our flavor, but he could go out and be in Hall of Fame.
The people that do that, they're like, I can't stand this pick. The Bears are, what were they thinking? Like, you got to let it play out, man. Like,
oh, my gosh.
There's a reason we're not GMs either. But I guess there's some GMs that should be GMs.
You need a 3-year window to determine these guys anyways. Now, it's fun. We'll have it like our draft grades after the Bears draft. But realistically, those don't really mean anything because they haven't even touched the field yet. And even after 1 year, you don't even know because guys flame out after 1 year. Guys take a little bit longer to hit their potential. It happened. Like I always use the JSN example because it's such a good one. After year 1, JSN, you're kind of like, that's not the guy. Well, guess what? Year 3, you're like, this is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Yeah. You just don't know. And you have people like Justin Jefferson, who people didn't expect him to be as good as he was because he went pick 17, right? And he ends up being one of the best wide receivers in NFL history. So he came out the gate hot. You don't know. These GMs don't know. We don't know. We're all doing our best guessing game to hopefully get it right.
And so, Emerald City route artist, is that right?
That is right. That is right. Because he doesn't already have a nickname. That was so funny. But yeah, that's the whole point. I think that's what makes it fun. You know, none of these are actually right or wrong. This is just kind of Dave and I's opinion on your opinion. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
A surprise pick before we end it here. Do you think there is the likelihood that we have a surprise in the first round like we did last year with Colston, where you're kind of like, wow, no one saw that coming?
It's so wide open.
There was no mocks. There were no mocks of Colston to the Bears last year, like none of the big guys. And he ended up going to Chicago. Are we going to have something similar to that this year?
It's so wide open. The only thing that would be shocking is if it's like an offensive player, like a receiver, you know, or linebacker maybe.
Linebacker, running back, like Jade Price early.
Running back would be surprising. Yeah. So running back, linebacker, receiver would be shocking.
You're right. Because anything D-line we're taking. Corner I could see us taking. Safety I could see us taking.
Yep. Edge rusher,
offensive line, I can see us taking, not interior.
You can see left tackle.
Center
would be a little surprising at 25.
That would be high. Yeah, there's no centers.
High. There's a couple spots where I'd be like, a couple positions where I would be like, whoa, okay.
I do love this. Let's get my Hoosier boys back together. So if Omar Cooper is available, we could trade back. I'd love to see that. But I saw mock saying Omar going like top 15. So I don't even know if that's the case, But yeah, that's the draft, man. I love it, man. It's all these hypotheticals. We'll see how it plays out. But I appreciate all of y'all being here, going through 90 minutes of just looking at these mocks, listening to Dave and I talk. It's really been a fun one. So I appreciate that.
We'll have another mock Saturday, kind of going over here. We have a few more that we'll get to. I know we didn't get to every single one, but there will be more mocks that we will grade and cover next week. So shout out to you guys that sent them in. Insane amount of love. Appreciate the feedback. Again, check out the Patreon. My article on Monday's coming. Should be a good one. Also, my work on Bears on SI. I'll have my 3-round mock draft coming out Monday. You can check it out there at Sports Illustrated. On the, I think it's Bears Sports Illustrated Bears on SI.
Yeah.
Anyways, just check it out. Follow me on Twitter. You'll see. I'll tweet it out as well. Cannot be more excited about kind of producing content over there. Nothing will change with Bears Fan TV. That's number one priority. We'll be going live like we always do. And of course, the support. Again, just want to say thank you. And on your way out, if you can, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Apple, Spotify, love you guys to rate and subscribe the pod over there. So, Fick, anything I'm missing before we kind of close today's show?
No, next week's gonna be a big one. Week before the draft, a bunch of announcements. So just stay tuned. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. A bunch of giveaways, a bunch of fun stuff. And during the draft, we do a bunch of giveaways. So just stay with us if you like some free shit, and you can support us. All right, but speaking of support, let's go ahead and get to our OGs here. We got some OGs in here. We got Knights of Ben with the hashtag OG. Appreciate that. We got Jerome from Darien Hall of Fame, Patreon member, hashtag OG, best bear show in the business. Yeah, it is the best bear show because it's the number one show for the fans, by the fans, and y'all make it fantastic. And we got Ryan Reeves in here as well, Patreon member, Hall of Fame, with the hashtag OG. G. Appreciate that. You can throw them in here real quick if you got a chance. We got Ryan Reeves said, appreciate you, gentlemen. We really do appreciate y'all as well. And speaking of appreciation, the time is back. I got the slides, baby, updated. We got to give love to our Patreon members as always. This list is getting longer and longer. I love it. Shout out to our Hall of Fame Grizzly members. We got Gage, Michael from across the pond. We got Michael Berry. We got Phil Thomas, who's in the chat. Dave, Daniel from across the pond. Angie, Jerome, who's in the chat. Ryan, who's in the chat. And we got Chris. Really do appreciate all of y'all. Thank you for, sticking with us, especially during this transition. We're so excited that we've revamped Patreon and bringing you guys even more content. And then also our new tier, our veteran Grizzlies. Shout out to y'all, Chris, Jason, Alex, who's probably lifted as we speak. We got Ethan, we got Megan, we got Lee, Cody, Leo, and our newest member, Ben. Shout out to you. That was my dad's name. Welcome to the veteran club as well. Currently, we don't have any rookie Grizz, but if you want to join in the rookie Grizz, it's $1 a month. You will get Dave's articles. If you just want to kind of test and be like, don't want to, like this Patreon, it's just $1 a month. That's $12 a year. So super low.
Absolutely.
But if you don't, that's totally fine.
Again, the Patreon is also the backbone of this community. Obviously, we have our YouTube. If you want to support that, another great way is hit that like button, subscribe, tell a Bears fan, watch the shows, support them. But if you want $1, whatever it is, I think you can even check it out for free. We have some free stuff. So if you just want to join, test it out, you can ask me questions too. The backbone of the community has been the Patreon, especially since we kind of moved over and started doing our own thing. You guys have supported, and we just can't wait to continue to deliver content. I know it's a little bit slow right now with the offseason. We get it, but the draft is almost here. And our draft show for round 1, we're going live for the entire draft. So, not the entire draft, round 1.
Well, no, look, the draft is going to be a little bit shorter now, 8 picks per. So it's going to save an hour of time. So we might be able to. Now
all of round 1, I'm not doing the entire draft.
Oh, no, my bad.
That's what I'm saying. I said round 1, we will be going live for the entire draft. We'll just chilling on here. We'll have we'll be giving stuff away. We'll have an entire round 1 draft show.
Could you imagine that? That's what they do, though. Shout out to them. I do love watching, the guys do it, but that is.
I guess we could do 48-hour live stream. Just on stream.
I do like watching the NFL Network, Rich Eisen and the guys DJ when they do their day 2 and day 3 stuff. But yeah, that's a long time, bro. So, but round 1, yes, we got your back, and round 2, we got 2 picks there, so it should be an exciting one. I'm expecting some trades. Should be a good one. Well, we appreciate all of you guys' supports. Any final thoughts, Dave?
No, sir. You guys enjoy your Saturday, and we'll see you next week. Again, a lot of fun news. Check out my work again, Bears on SI. Fick has a great BFTV has a great draft contest coming out Monday, so keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, our producer, cannot wait to announce him shortly. Hopefully, he'll be on the show next week as well, behind the sticks, and of course, being on a part of just BFTV and the live shows. So thank you again. Bear down, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.